Good evening. It is December 24th, Christmas Eve. Oh, okay. So I just had just a little gathering, not much, but I just wanted to show a few different videos tonight about this drone situation because I just feel like we're just not getting the correct information from our government, and they expect us to just not ask questions, just believe anything they are saying. And boy, have I learned over the years how much we can't trust our government, being a whistleblower and having these deep state people after me. So, believe me, I don't, I don't listen to my government. So I just, I don't, I think I've made that clear in my videos. But the latest thing that just came out today here was this on Next News Network. This lady is saying there was apparently some rumors that it was there's apparently some proof that it was an Iranian ship that had these drones, and they came out of a ship. So this is
Oh yeah, you know,
this
we have
was
this though, 100%. Of course, here's the Pentagon.
To address this, Pentagon is doing to address. Sabrina, can you tell me what the Pentagon is doing to address this issue of drone sightings over New Jersey? It's near sensitive.
like she's totally just like giving
installations. The
a
FBI is involved. What is the Pentagon doing?
Sure. So at this time, aware of those drone sightings that have been reported, at this time we have no evidence that these activities are coming from a foreign entity or the work of an adversary. We're going to continue to monitor what is happening, but at no
it's
point
all
were
just
our
talk,
installations
just
threatened when this activity was occurring.
like as if
Roll
you're
out that
like
these are
she
American
doesn't sound
drones.
like she knows anything.
With military drones.
These are not U.S. military drones. Again, this is being investigated by local law enforcement. What our initial
No, that's not what Timothy Alberino found out. He found out that they were a certain model number made by the Navy. Okay, so I'm going to play that clip. So, I mean, this woman doesn't know a thing of what she's talking about.
assessment here is that these are not drones or activities coming from a foreign entity or adversary.
Representative Jeff Van Drew, who is a Republican from New Jersey, was just on the air saying that Iran launched a mothership probably about a month ago that contains these drones, and that mothership is off the coast of the east coast of the United States.
Well, I would say that's a pretty big national emergency if Iran is launching mothership drones. Okay, really? And then they try to say, "Oh, there's no emergency here." I mean, you can't believe a word these people are saying. This is a deep state operation. That's why they're being so shady. This is and so when I say the deep state, I mostly mean the CIA, but there's several other agencies involved. The FBI is part of the deep state. A lot of law enforcement are part of the deep state. I just had 5 of them follow me just today. They're illegally, this guy upstairs is a Mason, and he put cameras down here for his Mason buddy sheriffs, so so they like to listen to everything I'm saying, even when I'm talking in my room, which of course that's legal, right? Law enforcement, to illegally spy on a whistleblower. I've been a whistleblower now for 12 years. Oh, but you're totally, you're totally sane, right? I love the way that the police try to act like some of us veterans have mental problems. Oh, I'm sorry, but it's totally legal what you're doing, harassing me to death for 12 years and putting spyware in my personal place I live. Oh, but that's totally legal, right? And then just because somebody has PTSD or something like that, they've put some veterans, made them look crazy just because they had PTSD. That doesn't make anybody crazy. Okay, and 65% of the police have PTSD, so that means that all of you are crazy along with the veterans. So we're all crazy together. Okay, so don't even try to play any kind of games with me because I know all of your games. Okay, yeah, but I mean, because they've played every game you can try to play with me, over the years. I mean, even on Christmas Eve, you're harassing me. You're just, you can't be trusted. The police can't be trusted. They're part of the deep state, and all these other agencies that I talked about on this radio show that I was on. I was on the Beyond the Box radio show, and I talked about all the different agencies that are. But I mean, they've infiltrated almost every, pretty much every area. The state offices here, every branch of our government, they've infiltrated. So they get these people that are actually paid by the CIA to come in and infiltrate, and they act like they're a real employee, but really they're getting paid by not the same as the other employees. They're getting paid by a completely different source from the CIA. So like they don't get the same paycheck that you get. If you're a real state agency, if you're real, if you really work for a state agency, you'll get a certain paycheck. You'll have a certain, paycheck will look a certain way. These people that are deep state, they won't get the same paycheck that you do. They will have their payment will be from some other source. So that's how you know if you're working with somebody and you have some kind of suspicion, maybe they're deep state, maybe they're not a real employee. Find out who's paying them. Ask them to see their paycheck. Ask to see their paycheck, because they get paid like 3 times more than you. Okay, to be a deep state, and what they're okay, that's how if you're a state worker and a federal worker, and you suspect that you got a deep state person working with you, that's not actually a real state, a federal person or state person, ask to see their paycheck. Okay, because their paycheck doesn't come the same year as yours does, and they get paid at least double what you are to be deep state and spy on you, and they're there spying on you, by the way. They'll spy on their own employees, and they'll spy on, and they're here to spy on whistleblowers. They're committing treason against all of us. That's what the deep state is, and there's a lot of them all over our country. But I wanted to play you. I'm sorry to be, talk about this type of thing on Christmas Eve, but this is a pretty serious thing going on still with these drones. So, and this lady, so I have a friend in New Jersey. One of the reasons why I'm bringing this up is because of this video that she sent me, where there's a guy in New Jersey that has gotten really sick from this now. So people are starting to get really sick. This is this is a guy who this is a guy who he's like a coach, like an athletic coach, real fit type person, and he started getting sick. He lives in Virginia. Okay.
Coach, call me crazy, but I think it's from the drones.
Yeah, people are getting sick.
What?
People are getting sick.
He sent me a screenshot that he had taken just a few days before, which would have coincided with the specific night that I was outside getting firewood when I saw that light in the sky, whatever it was. Somebody that lives halfway between he and I. Okay, he lives as the crow flies. It's probably 16 miles away. He's got a friend, a gentleman I don't know, but I may be talking to very soon, that lives right in the middle of us. It's about 8 miles away. He told me where the guy lives. I drive by this guy's house on my way to basketball practice, okay? This guy saw one of those things in the sky, took a picture and put it on his Facebook account and said, "What is this?" And it may have been the very same one that I saw. I don't know. So I start digging around because I've just heard talk of this here recently, but I don't know what people are talking about. And I'm thinking, it's just another conspiracy theory or whatever. And I don't buy into just flat, straight out conspiracy theories. I'm entertained by them. But let me tell you, as someone, and I'm speaking to myself, who did serve in the military, who did have a security clearance, and who did have to sign non-disclosure agreements throughout my career, especially in certain locations that still... Some of these disclosures will not lapse until 25 years after certain presidents who are still not very old and very healthy have died. And they make you do that because they know more than likely you're going to be long dead as well before the non-disclosure agreement expires. So with that said, I start digging around and I find some information online. I'm finding reports on legacy media outlets about this stuff. I start going through the comments because clearly the government isn't telling us anything. The folks who are supposed to be in the know aren't telling us anything. And I saw one snippet. I watched multiple outlets. Listen, I'm not biased. I'm not political. I want to know the facts. Give me the facts and let me make my mind up. So I'll watch snippets from CNN. And then I'll watch a snippet from Fox News. I'll watch the BBC, MSNBC, PBS, NPR. I want to gather as much information as I can because all of these organizations slant it the way they want to have it slanted. And then I try to figure out where in this junk might there be some facts. And usually it's in the comment section. So I'm going to share with you now a comment that I got from one of those legacy media outlets. I can't remember specifically which one this was, but this was left 7 days ago, and it wasn't some corny name like some of the emails I get. It's just some person with a very anonymous type user ID and this came from a YouTube channel. So here's what he says. I don't want to step on anybody's toes in the government or anything, but I served a bit in the U.S. Air Force, worked as an engineer in defense contracting, and basically in national security, everything provocative and unidentified is considered a threat until identified and determined otherwise. And as a combat veteran who served in Iraq as a machine gunner, I can confirm that that's a fact.
Yeah, they won't. If you don't acknowledge exactly who these drone operators are, and what they're doing there, then we're gonna consider it a threat. Do you understand? Our government? Okay, you haven't made it clear what they are, so therefore it is a threat. It is a national security threat. You can't just be like, oh, we think it's this, we think it's that. Oh yeah, now it's this. Let's change it every day. No, it's a threat. We are under a national security threat with these. Okay, you don't give us a straight answer, then it's a threat. Okay, that's how it works in the military.
For those of you who never served in the military, that's just a simple, basic fact. Okay.
Yes.
These incompetent people are doing the exact opposite of instilling confidence in the American people. Just acknowledge it's happening and present a strategy to confront the problem. If you cannot do that, then you need to step down immediately. And I'm not saying I'm the expert here either. I just know this basic fact. When you really look at what happened here in western North Carolina after Helene, the response to these drones, the genocides, Ukraine, and the total inability of these people to stop insurers from murdering 50,000 Americans every year, I think we need to start talking about the Declaration of Independence. This absolutely is a threat. If they don't know what the drones are, can't oppose them, and have no plan to oppose them other than more gaslighting of the American public. If that's all they have, then we need to replace the government. We pay taxes for literally nothing but our deaths. So, folks, there you have it. Them's the facts.
Yeah.
Those were my two honest to the God of your understanding or choosing truth of the first time I experienced it, along with my wife. Both of us became very ill over the next few days, but had a miraculous recovery on the fourth day. Then when I experienced it by myself just last week, same thing. And then a friend of mine who lives 16 miles away, who saw one that night, and I left that out of our conversation. He mentioned having seen the light, and one of his buddies got a picture of it, put it on Facebook. My buddy experienced the same thing. And as of now, as a matter of fact, this morning, that's why I got the idea for this video. He said, hey, Coach, I'm 100% now. Can I come to your next practice and help your kids with that zone defense? I said, yes, glad to hear you're better, Coach. Absolutely want you there. That's all I got for you, folks.
Well, so
let me know what you...
I don't know. So apparently they got like deathly ill. This is somebody that lives in Virginia, I guess. This was sent to me by a friend of mine in Virginia. So apparently they're getting really, really like deathly sick for 3 days, but then on the fourth day they feel fine. And so this is what's happening. But definitely something really bad is being emitted by these drones. Just because they're recovering doesn't mean they're fully okay. I mean, they got exposed to something. So who's to say they're not going to get exposed again or whatever, or who's to say that it's completely out of their system? They said they got deathly ill. They're getting deathly ill for about 3 days, and then like on the fourth day they feel better. Okay, but so definitely they're admitting something. They seem to be emitting something that's making people sick now. Okay, so that's one thing that our government isn't telling us. This is directly from the people that are living out there on the East Coast. And then this Timothy Alberino,
and there's been a lot of talk about this.
he's discussing it. But I mean,
technology deployed in outer space, and there's no way that the government does it. In my estimation, there's no way that the government doesn't know what these things are. I agree with President Trump. Again, there's only two options here. Either they don't know either they know what they are, and they're lying to the public about it, or they don't know and they're utterly incompetent. But I personally believe that they know what they are. It's inconceivable to me that the government doesn't know. And even if the answer is, well, there's some form of UFO, at least they know that much. So I'm going to go with A. They do know what's going on. They do know what these craft are, and they are lying to us. Anything else is really inconceivable. I don't think that we can pin this one up to incompetence. I'm sure there's a lot of incompetence in play here, but it seems inconceivable to me that with all the technology we have deployed out there, including drone technology, helicopters, our spy planes, that we don't have visuals and we haven't collected data. I mean, it's been, over a month now. We have data. We know what these are, in my estimation. Okay, that's my opinion. If you enjoy my analysis on these topics and would like to hear more from me, I invite you to join the Alberino Analysis Members Community, where you will gain access to my weekly private briefings, live stream Q&A sessions, behind-the-scenes updates on my current projects and expeditions, community features that facilitate interaction with myself and other members, early access to tickets for events I happen to be conducting, and a convenient mobile app to keep you notified and up to date on everything I publish. In addition to all this, annual subscribers will be treated to an advanced, so at least some of the drones are conventional technology.
Yeah.
And are in fact, I invite you to join. Many of the ufologists that I respect are not yet ready to commit to any particular proposition in regard to these objects. In other words, they're not yet ready to declare them as UFOs, or foreign assets or anything else. I'm in that camp currently, and I think it's wise, I think it's prudent to reserve a final conclusion in regard to this phenomenon because there are so many moving parts and it is so bizarre. But as I've said, as I've already established, at the very least, we can definitively conclude, okay, that the pterodynamic XP4 is in play. Okay, the XP4 is definitely in play.
It's so they found the model number of the drones. It's a Navy drone called an XP4. Okay, so this is the information. Timothy Alberino has been on a lot of different history channels, and he's works with the UFO community very closely. He's been, and he has a lot of contacts, government contacts. So I mean, he's a very valid source. And
in this scenario, so at least some of the drones are conventional technology.
Yeah, they're conventional
and
technology.
And are in fact drones. There are in fact drones Navy. Out there. I think that's definitive XP4. At this point. I made an X post a few days ago. As I was traveling, I made a quick X post on my initial thoughts about this phenomenon as it's unfolding. My thoughts have not really changed. I would say that I have refined some of my thoughts since this post. But I'm going to go ahead and read this post to you. I wrote that I'm getting face peeler vibes from this New Jersey drone situation. This allegedly drone technology appears to be extremely advanced, but not as anomalous as typical UFO activity, which is precisely what was happening in the Peruvian Amazon last year. Okay, so in other words, there are components of the phenomenon that seem quite conventional. As I've said, we've already identified one of the drones.
Okay, so apparently there was something similar that happened in the Peruvian forest last year, some drone situation or a weird alien issue. He spent a lot of time in Peru, Timothy Alberino, so he did kind of a analysis on that. But anyway, I just wanted to do this quick video tonight because I feel like we're just not getting straight answers at all still after like a month now. I mean, we still can't get straight answers from our government as to what these are, and so I'm just trying to get some real information, and kind of pinpoint who's telling the truth and stuff. But yeah, so I mean, but there's aspects, even if it is a Navy XP4 like he said, I mean there's a lot of aspects of the Navy that are deep state. The Navy was infiltrated very much by the deep state because John McCain was a part of the deep state, and John McCain was an admiral, was part of the Navy. John McCain is a huge part of the deep state, and he has a whole admiral Navy family, so there was a whole aspect of the Navy that got infiltrated by the deep state because of him. So I've talked about that John McCain is the secret kingpin of the deep state over here in America. He was the secret kingpin. We know that much. So he helped bring cause a lot of problems with the deep state. He wasn't who everybody thinks he was. So anyway, I just wanted to do this quick video this evening. Sorry to be on a negative note, but I do hope everybody has a good Christmas Eve. I do, there are positive things happening too. Don't get me wrong. I mean, there's at least we're becoming aware of truly how corrupt our government is, and that's the first step, is for people to become aware, and that's what I've tried to do for years, as just doing these videos to bring awareness, because I mean it's just if you've never worked for the government, or if you've always just had like just worked for some company all these years, and you really haven't seen certain aspects of the government, then you just have no idea. You just have no idea unless you actually hear from somebody who was in the military, like I was at this deep state military base, and saw what I saw, and here, and now we're seeing clearly firsthand, with what's happened in North Carolina, how we just can't trust our government. And when I was in Texas and the whole grid went down, I mean, nobody got reimbursed for losing all of their, none of the companies in the area that lost a whole week of business because of everything was shut down. Nobody got reimbursed by FEMA for anything. They had all these broken pipes and everything, and FEMA didn't pay them a dime. I mean, we can't trust FEMA. We can't trust Homeland Security. We can't trust the CIA. We can't trust the FBI. So who are we going to trust? We have to get our own answers. So anyway, I hope that at least we have a lot more level of consciousness and awareness at this point in our country, but we need to take action. It's not just a level. It's not just like thinking about doing something or talking about doing something. It's actually doing something. That it has to happen. So anyway, with that, I do wish everybody a Merry Christmas, and I'll chat later.